When people described Morgan, they used soft words. Smart but inconsistent. Talented but distracted. Capable if he really tried. What they meant was simple. They thought he was lazy. Morgan believed it too. He had started 3 online businesses and abandoned all of them. He downloaded budgeting apps but never updated them. He bought books on investing that sat untouched beside his bed. Every January, he wrote ambitious financial goals. By March, the notebook was quiet again. By 29, Morgan earned a decent salary, but his account balance told a different story. 10 days after payday, he was tight. One unexpected bill would push him into debt. He had no emergency fund, no investments producing income, no asset growing quietly in the background, just income, and expenses that rose to meet it. And every time, he told himself the same story. I just don't have the drive other people have. Then one evening, after checking his bank balance and feeling that familiar knot in his stomach, he called his older cousin, Idris. Idris wasn't flashy. No designer clothes, no loud declarations about money. But at 38, he owned 2 rental properties, had 0 debt, and never seemed stressed about bills. Morgan asked him directly, "How do you stay motivated?" Idris laughed. "I'm rarely motivated." That answer irritated Morgan. "Then how are you ahead?" There was a pause. "I'm not ahead because I'm motivated. I'm ahead because I'm disciplined." Morgan went quiet. He had always linked wealth to passion, to excitement, to waking up inspired. Idris continued, "Motivation is emotional. Discipline is structural. One fades, the other functions." The next Saturday, Morgan visited him. Idris showed him something unexpected, not a trading dashboard, not a business mastermind group, a whiteboard. On it were simple rules. Save 20% automatically. Invest monthly, no exceptions. Track expenses every Sunday. No impulse purchases above a set limit. Review goals quarterly. "That's it?" Morgan asked. "That's it. But where's the hustle? The grind?" Idris smiled. "That's the myth. Wealth isn't built in intensity. It's built in repetition." Morgan felt uncomfortable because repetition sounded boring, and boring didn't feel like success. But that week, he tried something different. Instead of starting a new business idea, he set up automatic transfers. The moment his salary came in, 15% moved into an investment account. $400. Every month. Automatically. He didn't wait to feel ready. He didn't promise to save what was left over. He forced the decision before emotion could interfere. The first month felt tight. The second month felt annoying. By the third month, he barely noticed. After 12 months, he had contributed $4,800. With modest 8% annual growth, it was already worth over $5,100. Not dramatic, but it grew whether he felt inspired or not. That's when Morgan realized something painful. He was never lazy. Lazy people avoid effort. He worked hard. He just worked emotionally. He would sprint for 2 weeks after watching an inspiring video. He would overhaul his budget after a financial scare. He would research investments obsessively after hearing about someone else's gains. But when the emotion cooled, so did his action. He wasn't lazy. He was undisciplined. And undisciplined people don't lack effort. They lack systems. One evening, scrolling through social media, Morgan saw a video from someone he went to university with. The headline read, $2,000 to $18,000 in 6 weeks. This market is free money. The comments were full of celebration. Legend. Teach me. Next millionaire. Morgan felt it instantly, that heat in the chest, that quiet panic. 6 weeks. He had been investing slowly for months and hadn't seen anything dramatic. His mind began negotiating. If I move just half my investment, I can put it back after I double it. This is how people get ahead. He opened his investment app. His thumb hovered over the transfer button. For a moment, discipline felt slow, and slow felt stupid. The old Morgan would have acted. He would have called it bold. He would have called it calculated. But it would have been emotion. He stood up, walked to the whiteboard, read the rule slowly. Invest monthly, no exceptions, no emotional trades. Then he asked himself, am I trying to build wealth or chase excitement? Silence answered him. He locked his phone, placed it face down, and walked away. That decision didn't feel powerful. It felt like missing out. It felt like staying small. It felt uncomfortable. But 6 weeks later, the same person posted again. Market correction, tough lesson. No rocket emojis, no celebration. Morgan looked at his portfolio. Still growing, still stable, still aligned with the plan. And for the first time, discipline didn't feel boring. It felt intelligent. Months passed. His savings crossed an amount he had never maintained before. He paid off his lingering credit card balance. He built a 3-month emergency fund, then 6. He began reading 10 pages a day, not when inspired, but after dinner, every single night. Not because he felt like it, because it was scheduled. And something else shifted. His confidence grew, not from money alone, but from self-trust. Discipline does something motivation never can. It makes you predictable to yourself. When you say you will save, you save. When you say you will invest, you invest. When you say you will avoid debt, you avoid it. Wealth is not just financial accumulation. It is behavioral consistency. 1 year later, Morgan didn't look dramatically different. No sports car, no flashy apartment. But his net worth had doubled. And more importantly, he no longer called himself lazy because he understood the truth. Laziness is often a misdiagnosis. Most people don't lack energy. They lack structure. They wait for mood instead of building systems. They chase intensity instead of committing to consistency. And financially, that mistake is expensive. If you only save when inspired, you will rarely save. If you only invest when confident, you will often hesitate. If you only budget when afraid, you will constantly react. Discipline removes negotiation. It replaces, "Do I feel like it?" with, "This is what I do." Morgan didn't become wealthy overnight. He became predictable. And predictability is the foundation of wealth. Because money compounds best in stable hands, you are not lazy, you are undisciplined. And that is good news, because laziness feels like identity. Discipline is a skill, and skills can be built. One rule at a time, one automatic transfer at a time, one boring, repeated decision at a time. Wealth does not reward intensity, it rewards structure. Motivation builds plans. Discipline builds net worth. And the day you stop chasing how you feel is the day money starts respecting you.